بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
إنا أعطيناك الكوثر
Indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar.
فصل لربك وانحر
So pray to your Lord and sacrifice to Him alone.
إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I welcome all delegates, I welcome all participants who have joined us online. Just for background purposes, today Karachi's weather is affecting physical attendance because it's raining heavily in Karachi again today. But we thought instead of postponing the session again, which we did earlier, we would proceed ahead with this session. So participants are joining us online. I acknowledge participation of various participants, joining us from various chambers across Pakistan. We also have the ICTTM team and their board members of ITC joining us online. We have Dr. Jeanette Forbes representing Scottish Chambers of Commerce. She's also with us online. We have my board members of Pakistan, UK and Ireland Business Council joining us online, members of Pakistan, UK and Ireland Business Council. And the invitations were also sent to various other trade associations. We have representatives from Pakistan High Commission, the Trade Minister and his office teams are joining us online, so I also acknowledge your presence. The purpose of this session was to provide access to businesses, to empower businesses and enable them by providing them and equipping them with appropriate tools. This company, ICTTM, the board members and the team will tell them further about that. But I also acknowledge the presence of members of Pakistan Britain Business Council who are with us online and other FPCCI team members and businesses. I welcome you all to this session. The purpose of this session is to provide you and enable you with appropriate tools. The Pakistan, UK and Ireland Business Council facilitated an understanding of FPCCI with ICTTM. ICTTM has developed Adam FTD and the ICTTM team will tell us more about their portal, will tell us more about what are the features of the tools that they've developed. In terms of the signing, this provides our businesses in Pakistan complimentary access to the trade portals until end of November. That's the time when anybody can avail these portals to get access to get all the data that they need, and also hopefully look at what are the trends, what is happening across the world, and the ICTTM team will tell you a little bit more about that. What I want to do is welcome the ITC and the ICTTM team. So if I can ask their mics to be muted so that we can go over to them. And if you want to briefly introduce your board members, please.
Thank you. So joining us today is Ranjani Rangan, who is the chairperson for the International Trade Council. We also have His Excellency Ivan Miklos, who is a board member and former Deputy Prime Minister of Slovakia. Joining us also is Mr. Aftab Haider, who is in Pakistan and is also an ITC board member. And finally, we also have Mr. Paul from Malawi, who is replacing the Honourable Minister Yesharan Addy, who is unfortunately unable to join us. So perhaps, yep.
Thank you. So, do you want to proceed with the agenda further and give us an overview of the tools, and we'll go to the keynote from as part of the agenda point 2.
Certainly. So shall we pass it to Ms. Ranjani Rangan, Chairperson of the International Trade Council?
Yes, please. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Tristan. And good afternoon and good evening to distinguished colleagues, partners, and friends here. On behalf of the International Trade Council, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to today's program in partnership with the Federation of the Pakistan Chambers of Commerce and Industry. This collaboration actually marks another important milestone in our joint mission to strengthen the international trade, foster transparency, and ensure that businesses of all sizes can access global opportunities. International trade today is facing both challenges and opportunities. Rising tariffs, shifting geopolitical landscapes, and global supply chain disruptions demand that we find something new and innovative ways to support our business communities. At the same time, technology and data are opening new doors, allowing exporters and importers alike to navigate markets with clarity and confidence. The ITC is proud to work alongside the FPCCI in delivering practical tools such as the ADAM FTD, which you'll be learning more about later, providing businesses with real-time insights into tariffs, compliance requirements, and global demand. By extending free access for Pakistani companies until the end of November, we hope to empower more businesses to compete globally, grow sustainably, and create jobs locally. Today, you'll hear from respected voices on our board who will bring a diverse perspective from sustainable economics to inclusivity in trade, to the power of transparency in building investor confidence. Together, these ideas frame a wisdom of trade that is fair, resilient, and future-ready. Let the session not only inform, but also inspire us to deepen partnerships, build bridges, and work toward a global trade system that benefits everyone. With that, it is my honor to open today's program and to invite our keynote speakers to share their insights. Tristan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ranjani. I would like to introduce His Excellency Ivan Miklos from the ITC board.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ivan Miklos. I'm ITC board member, and before I served as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance in Slovakia. My country, Slovakia, is small, 5 million people country at the center of Europe. And we are a good example of how open trade and cooperation, economic cooperation, can be helpful in development of the country and in growing prosperity of its people. We did a lot of reforms, and thanks to this, it was mainly during globalization, we became #1 producer, for instance, of personal cars per capita. And this open space after breakdown of communism brought us a lot of opportunities which have been used especially by economic reforms and integration to the European Union. But now I think, of course, global environment is changing in many areas. But what we see now is, of course, deglobalization, global fragmentation, and trade wars. But I think even more, the right connections, data, information is even more important as it was before during free trade development and globalization. And in this regard, I think ITC is offering very useful tools for this, for cooperation, and helpful tool for doing business in this and providing trade in this changing environment. And let me mention just a few reasons for optimism as I see a future. On one side, it is true that we are living in the time of deglobalization and trade wars. which is mostly fueled by President Trump and his administration. But I think good reason for optimism is that average tariffs in the US average tariffs today are 18%, but the rest of the world has average tariffs only 3%. And the share of US trade on the global trade is only 15%, 15%, which means 85% of global trade is provided by countries which don't have interest to increase obstacles for global trade. And I think this is also, I think, good reason for optimism. Another is, of course, that hopefully this trade wars, US trade wars policy will not be provided too long, because of course president is there not forever, which means even in these current conditions, I think there are a lot of opportunities for doing a trade and cooperate economically, and I'm sure that ITC tools are offering very good and very useful tool for providing very effective economic cooperation and international trade. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now hear from ITC board member Paul Quengwere. Paul? Paul,
I was just trying to unmute. Thank you so much, Tristan, and thank you, esteemed guests from the other side. I want just to add in one or two things regarding trade. I come from Malawi. I live in Malawi, and I've been serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Malawi Investment and Trade Center, where trade was a major issue. And when you're talking about Malawi, most people, if you've heard of it, it's a very small country in Africa, in Southern Africa. So most of the times when we're dealing with trade, we are basically looking at participation of small and medium enterprises, and most times underrepresented communities, to see how they can get out there into the global market, which is a major challenge. I feel that trade must really benefit these people, especially women-led enterprises and underrepresented groups. Not only large corporations, because most of the countries, for example, in Africa, are very small and their companies are small. They don't have huge companies, unlike maybe countries that are big and then they have really been in trade, in the global trade for such a long time. So we look at several barriers, including lack of financing, compliance, costs, and information gaps. So this inclusion, well, when you look at all those factors, then we can always see how factors like Adam FTD, which we'll be talking about shortly, can really help these small businesses. And I feel that some way, somehow, it helps those small and medium enterprises to come at a fair kind of level playing field. And then it also builds on social cohesion, fairness, and some helps on economic stability for these small economic countries like Malawi. But let me also, before I close, let me also talk briefly on transparency and how that can shape investor and business confidence. So in my role previously, I was looking at both exports for the country, as well as how investment in Malawi can improve those exports. So what we're looking at mostly is how predictability and clarity in trade can encourage this foreign direct investment and long-term business commitments. So those are the two major issues we've been looking at. And then we feel that if you got a proper transparency, for example, in customs, in tariffs, and compliance, it really reduces uncertainty and transaction costs. And that can really help people understand the international trade, move out with confidence to put their trade out there, to put their commodities out there. And now, with all that, it all boils down to what available digital platforms can help that. That's where I think Adam FTD comes in again, and it's quite important to make sure that everybody is able to have access to information on different aspects throughout the world, how they can send their commodity to different parts of the country, understand the tariffs that are whichever country that is. Let me stop there because I think it will be a lot more, there'll be a lot more information when my colleague talk about Adam FTD. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. And finally, we're on to the Honourable Dr. Yesharan Addy, who is also an ITC board member. He is also the State Minister for ICT and Digital Economy Sector at Ethiopia's Ministry of Innovation and Technology. Dr. Addy? We saw him logged in a minute ago. We've lost him. Okay, I will pass. Sorry about that.
He's not online anymore.
He's not
Yes.
online anymore. We've lost him.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
fine. So let me move to Syed Aftab Haider.
Thank you, Tristan. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and a very good afternoon. My name is Aftab Haider. Some of you might know me as the CEO of Pakistan Single Window, but I'm also one of the directors of the International Trade Council, and I'm very honored to be attending this event today. I understand that Karachi is experiencing some rough weather, so thank you very much, FPCI, for hosting this event today. I will just take a couple of minutes on what Adam FTD is going to bring for Pakistani businesses and taking advantage of the position that I have as Pakistan CEO of the Pakistan Single Window and what kind of complementarity we see between the two platforms that we think can really help Pakistani businesses integrate more with the international market. We have always been talking about the geostrategic position that Pakistan enjoys, at the crossroads of Central Asia, South Asia, and generally in a region that could really facilitate global trade, especially from South Asia to other countries. But one of the challenges that we have always faced in Pakistan is business-to-business connectivity. And, in my usual work also as the CEO of Pakistan Single Window, we do a lot of events with SMEs, with women-based businesses, and they've always struggled in connecting to businesses abroad. So we have been talking and thinking about how to bring digital tools to Pakistani businesses so that they could identify their potential customers in other markets and could connect with them. And very coincidentally, I got in touch with International Trade Council, and this is where I think that International Trade Council brings its greatest offering to all the Pakistani businesses. I think by connecting to other businesses, businesses abroad, Pakistani businesses will not only be able to get more business, but it also helps ensure that the transparency and efficiency of the supply chains coming out of Pakistan improve. And in consequence, the trust over Pakistani businesses also increases in the global market. Now, we've all just briefly touched upon what the Trump tariffs are going to do, how the world is going to shape up. And, as the directors of the ITC, we are very concerned about how trade is moving from freer trade towards less free trade or more restrictions on global trade. And this is where I think the power of data, the power of connectivity, the power of leveraging these networks comes into play, that you try to get more business by just connecting better. But this is just not easy. Doesn't mean that by using any of these intelligent tools, businesses would be getting more market. It also depends a lot on the enabling environment that the government provides to the businesses. It also depends on a lot of interventions that the private sector proposes, but then it also depends a lot on the operating environment facilitation that Pakistan Single Window would also provide to businesses that are connecting abroad. So I'm not going to take a lot of your time. Thank you very much for having us here. I think my final message for today's session is that trade growth cannot come from government systems alone. It has to depend on a combination of three things, like I mentioned. It is smart policy reforms, it is private sector initiative, and of course, it's widespread adoption of technology. And I cannot stress that enough, because in our work, we see that a lot of businesses actually struggle with adopting technology, and therefore are kind of excluded from the benefits that digitalization and IT tools bring. In order to deepen the international trade partnership, Pakistan can expand its global supply chain and open new opportunities for its people. And its initiatives like ADAM FTD that is really committed to bringing these opportunities to Pakistan. Thank you very much, and thank you, Tristan, for asking me to speak in this event too.
Thank you very much, sir. I think we'll now move on to the presentation of ADAM FTD. If anyone has any questions, please type them in the chat box and we will deal with them at the end. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Daisy, and I am a Senior Trade Commissioner at the International Center for Trade Transparency and the International Trade Council. In this 15-minute session, you'll learn how to use real-time customs data to identify key importers, track seasonal demand trends and market prices, and to understand and reach your target customers. First, let's clarify what the data that we will be looking at represents. This table presents a sample of customs records by country for the period from 1st July 2024 to 1st July 2025. Our database extends back several years before this time frame. This dataset includes customs records from countries of all sizes around the world and represents nearly 80% of global trade. We also combine this data with official company registry, beneficial ownership, sanctions, port, terminal, and tariff data. Let's start with a basic search. First, go to Trade Data on the left-hand side of the screen. Here, you can input the harmonized system code of your product. If you do not know the HS code, you can choose to enter a product description instead. In this example, we will use women's cotton dresses. You can input the description in any language, and the system can even understand grammatical errors. You will then see a drop-down list of matching HS codes and their descriptions. Here, you will choose the most relevant description from the list. In this example, we will use the first HS code shown. There is more than 600,000 global customs records showing here. We could narrow down the criteria by using advanced search and inputting the export country, import country, buyer, or supplier. This time we will carry on with a global search designed to help us understand the global supply and demand for the chosen product. Finally, click Unlock Trade Data Now. Moving on, let's look at the search results. This screen shows a complete list of global customs declarations and shipping documents for the selected product. There is a total of 635,467 shipments made in the specified time period. It is important to notice that some products display both weight and quantity, while others have only quantities listed. Our platform displays the exact results received from the various customs agencies, without modification. If I open this transaction, I can see the HS code, along with the unique product description. I can also see the importer company name, the exporter company name, the quantity of goods shipped, the unit value, and the total value of the shipment. This is incredibly useful data for any exporter because these are real-world, up-to-date transactions. Lastly, I can export any of this data into Microsoft Excel. This will allow me to perform my own calculations and select shipments. Now we will look at the market trends for this product. This helps us understand if the product is seasonal or has price or demand variations throughout the year. We are seeing. Let's now jump to the Market Analytics tab to see. This section shows us the market trends associated with this product across the desired time period. Here we see a graph displaying the total numbers of shipments, total weight, total quantities, and US dollar values. Let's scroll down the screen and look at the data in more detail. You can use this table to identify trends such as seasonality and price variations across time. Clicking here displays a pop-up list of suppliers for this specific month. You can scroll down and view the complete list of suppliers. Now I will click here to view the buyers for this period. Each company listed can be viewed in a separate tab, revealing even more detailed information. We will explore this later. Finally, at the bottom of the page is a heat map, correlating to your selected metric from the top of the page. Step 2. How to identify the most relevant target countries for your exports. We will skip directly to the tab labeled Buyer Country. Scrolling down, we see a heat map. This map can be sorted by the total number of shipments, weight, quantity, or US dollar value. We can move the mouse over each country. There we will find the individual metrics, also by number of shipments, weight, quantity, or US dollar value. Scrolling further down, we can see the list of countries and their associated number of importers. Looking at Vietnam, you will see it has a high dollar value of imports, but a low quantity of products imported and an even lower number of importers. Click the buyers list to open a pop-up window with the names of each importer. Here it will become more obvious why Vietnam has high dollar values and low quantities. The importers include well-known premium-priced brands such as Christian Dior, Fendi, and Gucci. There are a few lesser-known companies in this list, but Vietnam is historically an exporter of fashion. Vietnam's imports would mostly consist of returned goods, or these luxury brands that might not be manufactured locally. If we look at the importing countries, such as Spain, you can see that there are many more importers, the majority of which are purchasing at an overall lower dollar value. The USA has a 6415 importers, showing that there is both high demand but also a possibility for high competition. If we open the buyers list for the USA, we see well-known brands. These include H&M, J.Crew, Target, and many others. We could explore each of these companies further by opening the company profiles in another tab. We will do this in another part of the tool. Step 3. Here we will identify individual importers for the selected product. This requires more than just data, and I will teach you how to assess which companies offer the strongest opportunities and help you to understand why they stand out. Don't worry, I will walk you through the entire process, one step at a time. We will now go to the Buyers tab. This tab has a chart showing global importers. You can sort this information by number of shipments, weight, quantity, and US dollar values. Moving down the page, you can see that there is a table of global importers. This table can also be sorted. It might be tempting to go straight for the importers with the highest dollar values, but that's not always the best approach. High-value figures with lower shipment volumes can mean those companies make large, infrequent purchases, have long-standing supplier relationships, or operate with longer sales cycles. Breaking into these accounts can take more time, resources, and persistence. We'd instead recommend focusing on high to mid-volume buyers who work with a wide range of suppliers and who have regular shipments. These companies usually place orders more often, are less tied to any single supplier, and are more open to trying new products or vendors. This can mean that you have a better chance of getting your foot in the door. Let's now take a look at the 3 different types of company profiles available in our system. Here's how company profiles work. In ADAM FTD, every company sits in exactly one bucket. We use the strongest verified source available and label the profile accordingly. First, official company registry records. These come straight from government registries, so they're our gold standard. Where a country publishes it, we also show beneficial owners. Typically around half of jurisdictions do, but coverage varies by country. Second, GLEIF records, otherwise known as legal entity identifiers. If a company has an LEI, we anchor the profile to that global ID and its reference data. Roughly 4.6 million LEIs have been issued worldwide, so this is a reliable way to pin down financial market participants. Third are unofficial records. These are reconciled from customs and trade data when we don't yet have a matching government record, or when a name appears to be a trading name that doesn't confidently match a legal entity. Here's what we try to capture for each company profile. We start with the basics: a company overview, key contacts and addresses, any social media and website links we can verify, and a quick scan for negative media. If the company is listed, we'll also show stock or share price information. Then we get into the trade side: detailed trade analytics, the underlying bills of lading, known customers and suppliers, and the ports they use for origin and delivery. Not every company will have every field. Many importers act as middlemen, so they often don't maintain a website or social media, while most exporters usually do. Some firms have a big public footprint and appear in the press. Others keep a very low profile. What's consistent is this: for all company profiles, we provide their trade analytics and bills of lading, plus identified customers and/or suppliers. Very occasionally, a single company might appear as 2 separate profiles, typically when the names and addresses differ so much that it's hard to reconcile them automatically. When we find strong evidence they're the same legal entity, we merge them to keep the data clean. Let's look directly at a buyer's profile. In this case, we will view Primark Stores Limited. We can see that this profile has both an LEI number and is reconciled against the official company registry in the United Kingdom. This is its registry number. This is its LEI number. If I look at the Contacts tab, I can see any individuals who might be related to the company. If I click the Addresses tab, I can see their registered office and shipping addresses. When I scroll down, I can also see any other companies registered at the same properties. Moving on, you can see their trade analytics, which shows a history of their procurement trends over a period of time. This helps me understand if they're seasonal importers or not. I can also see their individual shipments under the Bills of Lading tab. Scrolling down, you will see that there are a large number of shipments with big quantities per shipment. You will also notice that there is no weight against each shipment. This is normal, as products like clothing are typically reported in units. The Suppliers tab shows a list of their suppliers. Each shipment shows a large quantity of products. This is helpful to know, along with the total prices and individual unit price. If they were also an exporter, there would also be a tab called Customers. Finally, we can look at where their shipments originate from. We see this on the Ports of Origin tab. This company is probably a good target to sell to. It has a large number of shipments with a lot of different suppliers, and each shipment has a high quantity of products. We will now examine another importer, Inditex, located in the Netherlands. This is a non-official record for the company. We can still view the company addresses that appear on their customs declarations. This company also has public reviews sourced from Google and Trustpilot. We can also see details of any likely related domain names, as well as more information about their websites, search engine optimization, keywords, and other metrics. We can view their trade analytics, showing any seasonality or other variations of their importing trends. Scrolling down the page, you can see that this company is quite seasonal for its shipments over the last 12 months. There is a toggle to view imports or exports to help you narrow down and focus on the documents you wish to see. Moving on, we can see the most recent bills of lading for the company. Even though we do not have the official government record or LEI for the company, our software has still successfully merged all records for the same entity. Looking at the Customers tab, we see that this company is not only an importer, but it also exports products around the world. The list of their customers is shown here. Finally, we can see their list of global suppliers on the Supplier tab. Even without a full registry profile, this company shows strong repeated trade activity, sources from known suppliers, and maintains a visible online footprint. The fact that they have a broad supplier list implies openness to new vendors and room to compete on price, lead time, or quality. That combination tells us there's real demand, making them a worthwhile sales target. Here's the quick recap of everything that we have covered in this presentation. Our data comes straight from customs declarations and bills of lading across 111 plus official sources and is refreshed every month. We enrich those records with Gleaf IDs, company registries, global sanctions checks, and other public sources to complete the picture. Because products are reported in different units, commodities by weight and packaged goods by quantity, we normalize everything for fair, apples-to-apples comparisons. In the US, dollar values aren't always reported, so where possible, we backfill them using counterpart export agency data. Finally, when you are choosing prospects, don't just chase the biggest totals. Prioritize buyers with many suppliers. a steady number of imports, stable prices, diverse origins, and a long trading history. Those signals usually mean reliable demand and faster wins. Thank you for your time today. I hope the information was helpful. If you need anything else, please contact me or any of my colleagues.
Thank you very much, Daisy. We will now move on. If anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Any questions from people here around the table? Or if anybody online has any questions, please use your mic.
How to get access of this portal?
So you can access it. I'll put the link up here now with the
Yep.
free in the chat room.
Tris-
Yep.
Tristan, we have a hand raised from the Trade Minister representing Pakistan High Commission.
Certainly. How can I help you, sir?
Yeah, thank you. May I?
Ji Umar Sahab, please go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to know, like, this carries, some very, very, I think, deep and insightful information about enterprises. So, does that data or this tool, how does it qualify the test of, GDPR, the data protection regulations, basically?
Certainly. So, sorry, carry on.
But that's what I wanted to know, like,
Okay.
because that's something of, something of
Yes.
extreme sensitivity in this part of the world.
Yes, definitely. So the data is officially sourced from customs agencies. The company registry data is sourced from the official government company registries. Now, customs data doesn't carry personal information, so all the names are removed from the customs declarations and bills of lading, which is covered by GDPR. For directors and managers of companies in the UK, for example, they're excluded from GDPR because the name of that company owner is public information. Similarly, in the US, in most states, the beneficial owner's name is public information. So we don't carry any non-public information on our site. Therefore, it's completely in line with GDPR. Additionally, excluding GDPR, there are some companies that also can exclude themselves from this data set, because essentially it's every importer and every exporter and every transaction for most of the world. So there are certain sensitive items, dual use items and other items that are naturally excluded, and there's the ability for companies to go to their own customs agencies directly and exclude their records. But certainly there's no issue with GDPR because of the type of data that it is.
Thank you,
That answers
Tristan.
the question. Thank you. Do we
I
have any
think,
more questions?
I think, Tristan, somebody asked if they can have this in a PDF format for them to refer to it. So maybe we can.
Yes, we can try and share that. Does anyone else have any questions?
Tristan, we are okay to move on.
Okay. All right. So I think the other things that we were going to share was the two publications that the ITC is jointly publishing with FPCCI. I don't know if everyone can still see my screen. So the two publications were Pakistan to the World, a book a workbook about how to export from Pakistan, how to find new foreign markets, how to validate importers, and everything related to export from Pakistan and opening for businesses of all sizes. So that publication is available free of charge from the International Trade Council website, and we'll put up links to this. And we also have another publication to attract more foreign direct investment to Pakistan. Obviously, Pakistan's an incredibly important economy, and it will become more so as we see global tariff shifts and global manufacturing shifts around the world. So from the International Trade Council's perspective, we're very interested in attracting outside investors to Pakistan to manufacture and also to build service industries as well in Pakistan in order to increase multilateral trade. I think we can now move on to perhaps our closing remarks if we're okay.
We can, Tristan.
Excellent.
Just a quick question from people around the table. How do they get access to this portal, and what do they do after November?
Right. So they can, I put up the link in the chat group, so they can just register directly there. They'll get free access immediately. They'll be able to create an account immediately and start using it instantly. After November, they'll receive an email asking if they wish to carry on. And if they wish to carry on, they can subscribe. And in which case they'll receive FPCCI's discount, which is 30% off the normal price. Anyone who has previously registered, their account should already be working for free until the end of November. But if that is not the case, they could email us and we will, I'll put up the email link, and we can make sure we can extend it.
Thank you, Tristan. And I also understand the portal has been revamped, so all the businesses who were facing issues earlier would now be able to access the portals easily. If there are any issues, please email the FPCCI team or the ITC team, and we'll be happy to facilitate. For those who are sitting here around the table, we will circulate the link to everybody so that you can get access to the portal if you don't already have that.
Excellent. So if there's no more questions, we'll pass it to my colleague, Ranjani, and she can close our session today, if that's okay.
Please do.
Ms. Rangan?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tristan. And thank you, everyone. Again, I hope the video that you all saw earlier brought on a little bit of some insight into what this product can do, and really urge all of you to actually try it out in a good way, in a major way, and see and give us your feedback as well. That will really help. As we bring today's program to a close, I do want to express my deep gratitude to all of you for your active participation, and to FPCCI for your partnership in making this initiative very possible. Our discussion today has highlighted key themes in sustainability, inclusivity, transparency, and partnership that must shape the future of international trade. These are not abstract ideas, they're principles that we can act on today using the tools, insights, and collaborations we have launched here. I would also like you to draw particular attention to the jointly co-authored trade handbooks that we are introducing together with the FPCCIs. These publications are more than books, they are actually roadmaps, and they do provide you practical guidance, knowledge, and resources to help your businesses in Pakistan and beyond. And it also helps you to navigate complex trade landscapes with confidence. Alongside these publications, we are proud to extend free access to ADAM FTD until the end of November, like we mentioned earlier, ensuring that all Pakistani businesses can meet. This is our way of turning today's world into action and empowering exporters with tools that they can use right away. Let us carry forward the momentum created today, and I truly encourage every part read, use, and share the resources. Remain engaged with both FPCCI and the International Trade Council. Together, we can build a stronger bridge between Pakistan and the global economy and ensure that trade continues to be a driver of prosperity. And for your commitment, this is not the end of our conversation. It is the beginning of a new and much, much deeper cooperation. Thank you, everyone. Tristan?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything you want to add to that?
Thank you. We hand it back to FPCCI. Thank you very much, Ranjani.
Yes, we'll hand it back to FPCCI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjani and Tristan, for the wonderful presentation and also for enabling Pakistani businesses to get the tools that are needed to get the competitive edge. On behalf of Pakistan, UK and Ireland Business Council as its chair, I thank all the ITC board members for your participation. I also thank the Trade Minister London, his team in London. I also acknowledge the presence of TDO Manchester, Scottish Chambers of Commerce's designated trade ambassador for Pakistan, Dr. Jeanette Forbes, members of Pakistan Britain Business Council, German businesses who are with us and will be utilizing these portals, the offices of the Philippines High Commission and the consulate team in Karachi, Aftab Haider Saab, Pakistan Single Window, FPCCI team for enabling this, board members of Pakistan, UK and Ireland Business Council and businesses at large. We hope we can bring you more initiatives like these to empower your businesses to take them forward and strengthen your trade. Once again, thank you for your participation and apologies for the disturbance because Karachi is today affected because of rains. So we did not want to postpone this session. We wanted people to start using the portal, but we can obviously share the presentation and the videos with the members who are not able to attend. Thank you so much once again.
Thank
And
you,
all of
everyone.
y'all, please stay safe with the rains as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.